I want you to join me in a very specific, universally painful memory. It's 3 a.m. The house is silent, dark, save for the blue glow of the kitchen clock. You are moving across the hardwood floor, maybe for a glass of water, maybe you heard a dog bark, but you are a ghost, light on your feet, perfectly silent. And it happens. The pressure changes, followed by that horrifying, sharp, almost brittle sound. Kriesh. That is the sound of pure, concentrated fury and immediate throbbing agony shooting straight up from the arch of your foot. You didn't just step on something. You found the perfect, sharp-edged corner of a rogue plastic brick that has been hiding in plain sight for 3 days, waiting patiently for this exact moment of vulnerable, barefoot navigation.
Oh, the auditory signature of organizational defeat. It is the primal scream of every parent and every serious hobbyist when they realize they have lost control of their collection.
Exactly. And when the pain subsides enough to turn on the light, you see the true enemy, the monstrous source of the chaos. That giant, overflowing plastic bin in the corner. The pile of mixed colors and shapes that represents a logistical challenge too vast for manual human labor. It's not a toy collection, it's an inventory management crisis masquerading as a pile of fun.
And that crisis is exactly what we are diving into today. This isn't just about the nuisance of stepping on a brick, which I agree is incredibly painful. It's about the silent war waged by serious collectors, the community often called AFOLs, or adult fans of Lego, against the unsorted pile, because that war is now quantifiable.
Quantifiable. You told us earlier the scale of this mess is actually an economic challenge worth nearly €1 billion globally in the secondary market. Wait, how did stepping on a brick turn into a macroeconomic problem?
Because the secondary market for used bricks is growing at a rate faster than the primary retail market. This isn't just sentimental value. These small interlocking pieces have become tangible assets locked away in unsorted boxes, retaining and often appreciating in value, especially if they belong to retired sets. The problem isn't that they exist. The problem is that you can't find them.
That puts an entirely new lens on the mountain of plastic in the corner. It's not trash, it's hidden equity.
Precisely. So the mission of this deep dive for you, our listener, is to understand that scale. We're going to trace the entire organizational journey, starting with the desperate manual kitchen table sorting that leads to human burnout, moving through the ingenious world of custom IKEA furniture hacks designed to impose physical order, and then finally we will explore the deep tech revolution, specifically the Lithuanian startup that decided to fight chaos using high-speed, 99% precise artificial intelligence. It's the automation of the world's most frustrating chore.
Okay, let's start with the sheer scale of the villain, the unsorted pile. When most people think of a bucket of bricks, they think of maybe, 50 distinct pieces. They think of the simple 2x4 rectangles and maybe a little roof slope. But the actual universe of interlocking plastic is exponentially more complex.
The complexity is what creates the crisis. To be an effective collector or builder, you have to be able to categorize, manage, and retrieve. And based on the official catalog data, the entire LEGO ecosystem contains well over 25,000 unique part types.
25,000. That number is stunning. That's more unique parts than many professional logistics and parts distribution companies deal with in their daily operations. We are talking about specialty pieces, modified plates, unique hinges, and tiny accessories.
Absolutely. And those parts come in over 4,000 different shapes and are manufactured in more than 40 primary color variations. If you are a serious adult fan of Lego and AFOL, who's been collecting for 2 or 3 decades, you are not managing a hobby. You are managing an inventory equivalent to a large industrial parts warehouse. It's a job requiring thousands of man-hours just to maintain. No wonder the easiest solution is to simply dump it all in a massive tub and ignore it.
And we established the economic stakes are enormous. We're talking about a secondary market valued at $1 billion in 2024, growing faster than retail. Let's unpack that growth a little more. Why are used bricks appreciating so rapidly?
It really comes down to scarcity and a nostalgia premium. When a specific set is retired, say a complex Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series model, the specialized pieces used in that set are often never produced again in those colors or quantities. If you're trying to restore that retired set, you must find those specific pieces.
So if I have a rare gray 2x2 modified tile with a specific clip mechanism that was only released in 2005, that piece's value is just locked into the unsorted pile.
Precisely. The market price for individual bricks, especially retired or rare ones, often commands a significant premium over their bulk weight. This value validates the enormous effort needed for organization. If you can quickly find and identify that rare piece, you unlock its full market value. If it's buried in a pile, it's worth the price of a generic plastic commodity.
That brings us to the great organizational philosophical debate among serious builders. How do you organize 25,000 unique parts?
This is the great divide. Should you sort your inventory by color, or should you sort by part type?
My immediate beginner instinct is always color. It's just so aesthetically pleasing. I see those beautifully organized walls of vibrant bins on Instagram, and it feels like I've achieved a perfect rainbow.
That aesthetic appeal is what we call the noob trap. It's a classic mistake. The veteran consensus among AFOLs is that sorting solely by color is a guaranteed path to frustration and inefficiency. Let's use an analogy.
Hey, hit me with the analogy engine.
Think of your kitchen spice rack. You could sort all your spices by color, all the whites together, salt, sugar, white pepper, and all the reds together, paprika, chili powder, cayenne. It might look neat, but when you go to make a specific meal and need paprika, you have to open 5 different red containers to figure out which one is the powder, which is the flake, and which is too hot.
That's a brilliant analogy. You are relying entirely on the visual difference inside the single color category to find the specific item. And you're just smelling every red powder, hoping you don't accidentally grab the cayenne pepper for your paprika chicken.
Exactly. When you are looking for that one tiny, specific one-by-one tile for a mosaic, it becomes virtually impossible to find when it is buried among hundreds of other small pieces that are the exact same color. You're forced to sift, often using a specialized tool called a brick separator, just to move the pieces around. It's exhausting.
So the goal isn't tidiness. The goal is optimal findability and accessibility. You have to sort by part type first.
Yes. Always. When you sort by part type all the one-by-one tiles together, all the 2x4 slopes together, regardless of color, you reduce the visual noise. You can instantly identify the shape you need and then pick the specific color from that small, homogeneous group. The organization has to mirror the way your brain builds. You don't think, I need a piece that's green. You think, I need a green 2x2 round plate. The category is the plate.
That distinction is crucial. Okay, so now let's get into the actual manual process of achieving this order, the sheer exhaustion involved, which is the before picture for the AI we're going to discuss later.
The manual process is a ritualistic act of obsession. It really is. It usually starts with dismantling dozens of sets that have been sitting assembled. Even this first set has its own protocols. Dedicated collectors meticulously stack every single plate, tile, and basic brick that is stackable. They create these tower-like structures of parts.
Why do they stack them? Is it just for the look? Is it aesthetic?
It's purely to save space and minimize volume. A stack of 50 1x2 bricks takes up way less surface area and is easier to handle than 50 individual 1x2 bricks just tossed loosely into a bin. It manages the chaos volumetrically.
But I've heard about a real technical risk here, something that every serious collector worries about: clutch power. Stacking too many pieces together for too long can actually compromise the integrity of the plastic connection. Can you explain the physics behind that?
This is a critical technical detail. Clutch power is the term for the friction and tension that holds 2 bricks together. The material used is acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, or ABS plastic. When you stack pieces together, they are under constant minor stress. If left for months or years, the plastic can experience stress relaxation or plastic creep.
Oh, plastic creep, like a slow, inevitable deformation. It sounds ominous.
Exactly. The material slowly, permanently deforms to relieve the constant tension. The minute gaps that provide the clutch power can shrink or warp over time, especially if the stack is stored somewhere warm or under the weight of other materials. When you finally take the stack apart, the bricks don't hold together as tightly as they used to. You have permanently reduced their grip.
So collectors are trading the long-term structural health of their pieces for short-term space savings and organization ease. That is a truly fascinating trade-off driven by the sheer scale of the problem.
And that trade-off shows the level of dedication. After the stacking ritual, they begin the categorization. They don't just use the official catalog. They create fluid, custom mental maps. They need drawers for long technical parts, tubs for weird accessories and minifigure gear, and custom bins for things like pieces with Hasselcroft holes or curved slopes. The organization system is bespoke to the owner's brain.
This sounds intensely rewarding for the first few hours, and then just soul-crushingly tedious.
It is. It's trading literally hundreds of hours of current labor for an unknown amount of time saved in future building. And that is why it leads to the inevitable burnout. Collectors themselves admit that manual sorting is often a losing proposition. They stop when they hit maybe 85% completion.
Why 85%? Why not finish it? That seems so close.
Because the effort to reward ratio completely collapses. Finding that final 15% of misclassified one-by-one tiles or tiny clips in a collection of 50,000 parts becomes exponentially slow and dispiriting. That last step, the meticulous checking of every remaining piece, can take as long as the first 85% combined. It breaks the human spirit, leading to the dreaded leftover box.
The ultimate admission of defeat. The small, random piece box where you are perpetually convinced that the one piece you desperately need for your current project is hiding, lost forever under a handful of miscellaneous plastic foliage.
That anxiety about the lost piece is the driving force behind the desperate search for better systems, which historically led collectors to turn to highly organized infrastructure.
So, if the human sorting process inevitably ends in burnout and the dreaded leftover box, the next logical step before the robots arrive is infrastructure. How do you create a specialized parts warehouse on a hobbyist's budget? For the vast majority of people, the answer starts with a pilgrimage to the Swedish furniture giant, IKEA.
The IKEA hack culture is a testament to human ingenuity. It really is. It's the foundation of large-scale, affordable brick organization. It's what allowed enthusiasts to take budget-friendly, mass-market commodity furniture and turn it into highly specialized, highly effective storage infrastructure.
Which specific systems became the backbone of this movement?
We have to start with the family-friendly champion, the Trofast system. This system was originally developed specifically for children's toys, and its design makes it perfectly suited for bulk organization. It uses lightweight, removable boxes that slide into sturdy frames.
Why is Trofast so beloved in the community beyond just being affordable? What's the magic there?
It's the combination of durability and accessibility, which is essential for a multi-user environment. The frames are sturdy enough to support the weight of an adult or a child as a seat, so they don't collapse under the weight of thousands of bricks. The boxes are pull-out and lightweight, meaning they are easily managed by even young children, making the cleanup process frictionless. You can have the largest bins for the bulk 2x4 bricks and the shallow bins for medium-sized plates and slopes.
Let's use our sports analogy to make this super clear for the listener.
Okay, think of the Trofast system as the organizational key to a successful children's soccer team equipment room. The large, deep bins are for the soccer balls, the items used in bulk. The shallow bins are for the cones, the flags, the water bottles, the medium-sized specialized equipment. You apply personalized, often pictorial labels to the front so the players know exactly where everything goes. It's designed to make grabbing what you need and, crucially, putting it away easy and intuitive, even if you can't read the written label.
It's not just storage. It's a system designed for high-frequency user accessibility. That makes perfect sense.
Precisely. Now, when we move away from the family room and into the dedicated master builder's workshop, the storage needs change. We need wider, shallower storage that maximizes horizontal viewing space. This leads us to the IKEA Alex drawers.
The Alex unit, the sleek white or black cabinet that every YouTube creator seems to have, it's considered the holy grail for serious AFOL storage.
Yes, its shallow drawers allow for maximum horizontal organization. You can spread out those smaller critical pieces, clips, tiles, miniature slopes, without burying them deeply. If a part is deeper than 2 inches, it takes too long to sift through. The Alex solves this.
But it has that critical design flaw that nearly ruins it for a serious collector, the dreaded Alex flaw.
The Alex flaw is the non-extension issue. When you pull the drawer out, about 25% of the drawer's depth remains inaccessible, hidden within the cabinet frame. Those pieces in the back become functionally lost, or worse, retrieving them risks spilling the entire drawer's contents onto the floor.
And this is where the enthusiast community and the power of 3D printing solve an industrial design problem, the solution known as Gridfinity or Brickfinity.
This is truly ingenious. The community designed, published, and shared free files for 3D printed modular box systems that fit the Alex drawer millimeter perfectly. You print dozens of small containers, some 1x1 unit size, some 2x4, some long and thin, that snap together like a digital tiling system.
So instead of one giant drawer, it's 1,000 tiny, custom-sized drawers that fit together like a puzzle box.
Exactly. And to defeat the Alex flaw, the front row of these custom trays is designed to be easily liftable. If you need a part that is hidden in the inaccessible back portion of the drawer, you simply lift the front row of trays out, like removing a modular tile, and that exposes the back of the drawer. You've used custom geometry to defeat the physical limitation of the commodity furniture.
That is fantastic. You're installing a custom tiered shelving system inside a standard piece of furniture, turning a $100 cabinet into high-performance, specialized storage for less than $40 worth of plastic filament. The boundary between DIY and engineering completely dissolves.
And this takes us to the next level, industrial optimization. When you move beyond IKEA hacks, the primary challenge becomes the engineering concept of storage density.
Storage density. Okay, that sounds like something you'd calculate for a shipping container. Break that down for us.
It is the technical term for inventory management optimization. It's the ratio of the usable volume inside a container compared to its total external size. This metric determines how much valuable wall space you need to store your collection. Every extra millimeter of plastic wall or gap between drawers reduces density.
So, using our analogy engine, high storage density is like aiming for the highest score on a video game inventory screen. You want zero wasted pixel space. Every compartment should be fully utilized without excess padding or unnecessary borders.
Perfect analogy. For collections exceeding 50,000 parts, collectors turn to specialized, non-IKEA solutions that optimize this ratio.
Let's compare the specialized industrial options, starting with the longtime American favorite, Acromills.
Acromills cabinets have been the gold standard for parts organization in North America for decades, used in everything from garages to hardware stores. They are popular because the drawers are flexible, removable, and generally robust. A builder can take an entire category, say, all the S-nut, studs not on top bricks, directly to their workbench without dumping the contents.
But you mentioned that their market dominance is being threatened by recent quality control issues, which is a big concern when you're making a massive organizational investment.
Yes, unfortunately. We've seen significant user reports detailing instances where drawers are warped or have excess plastic flashing from the molding process, making them sticky or difficult to operate smoothly. When you're spending thousands of dollars to organize a collection, that inconsistency is incredibly frustrating. It forces collectors to seek alternatives like quantum storage, which focuses on better materials to prevent warping.
Okay, so next up, the specialized European solution, the really useful boxes, or RUB. What's their champion feature?
RUB systems are massive, designed specifically for bulk storage, often using scrapbook drawer inserts with 15 compartments. They're crucial for extremely large collections, but their biggest advantage is their fully enclosed design.
Why is that enclosed design so important for plastic bricks?
It is essential for preservation. The fully enclosed systems protect the parts against the two major physical threats: dust and UV light exposure. Dust accumulation is a nightmare on tens of thousands of pieces, requiring deep cleaning. More importantly, UV light can cause the ABS plastic to degrade and discolor over time, especially the lighter colors like white and light gray. RUB systems act like sealed vaults for preservation, crucial for those valuable, decades-old bricks.
So they sacrifice a bit of the easy accessibility of the Acromills open drawers for maximum protection and bulk capacity.
A necessary trade-off when scale reaches a certain point. And finally, the efficiency winner. The system focused purely on high-density engineering. Papimax StackX.
This is the UK-based company that engineered their system specifically for the parts, right?
Correct. They focused on minimizing every millimeter of wasted space. Papimax boasts the highest measured efficiency in the market, achieving a phenomenal 62% storage density.
62% usable volume. To put that in perspective, what does that number actually mean for a collector?
It means they designed the interior compartments and the outer casing to be as thin and compact as possible while still being durable. They optimized the geometry of the 15-compartment inserts to hold the most common brick sizes. Compared to a standard home organizer, which might hit 45% or 50% density, that 62% means you can fit almost 25% more distinct pieces on the exact same wall space.
So if you are in a small city apartment or have a constrained hobby room, Papimax is the engineering answer. Maximum parts variety in the smallest possible footprint.
It is the efficiency expert, but that engineering optimization comes at a cost. Papimax StackX systems are the most expensive per liter stored, transforming organization from a budget consideration into a serious financial investment. We have gone from the kitchen floor, through IKEA hacks, to specialized industrial-grade storage walls, and all of this still relies on one thing: a human being meticulously classifying and moving every single part.
And that, as we've established, leads to human burnout at 85% completion. The true disruptive change happens when we outsource the tedium altogether.
That's right. For decades, the sorting process was a purely manual, repetitive, time-consuming task. After centuries of human labor, the collective question finally became, if we can train AI to drive a car, can we train it to sort a pile of plastic bricks?
And the core innovator, the startup that took the plunge, is the Lithuanian deep tech company, Sort a Brick. Tell us about the origin story.
The motivation is beautifully relatable. The company was founded by Ilya Malkin, who admitted he was completely exhausted by the time-consuming chore of sorting through his son's thousands of mixed bricks. It was a chore he was rage-quitting by building a multi-million-euro industrial machine.
That is the ultimate entrepreneurial leap, turning a personal pain point into a technological breakthrough. What exactly is this machine, this proprietary AI system?
It's an autonomous industrial-scale restoration service leveraging high-speed computer vision. They built proprietary deep learning algorithms specifically trained on the 25,000 unique parts in the entire ecosystem. The system is designed to convert complete chaos, that giant box you ship them, into verified, usable structure.
So what are the numbers? How fast and how accurate is this industrial system?
The precision is nearly flawless. The system achieves 99% precision in identifying parts, shapes, and colors. And the speed is the headline. It processes approximately 1,000 parts per hour.
1,000 pieces per hour. A human sorter, even a highly dedicated AFOL, is usually struggling to maintain a pace above 300 to 400 parts per hour for bulk sorting before fatigue sets in.
This is roughly a threefold increase over the typical human speed, while requiring less than a tenth of the human labor, allowing them to scale internationally. And the AI is not just sorting, it's restoring. It matches the scanned parts against a massive database of over 10,000 official sets, including those vintage pieces dating all the way back to the 1950s.
That 1954 date is staggering. It means they can take a box of mixed-era plastic and instantly identify the components of retired, highly valuable sets.
That is the core value proposition. Customers ship their mixed plastic, the AI analyzes it, cleans it, and generates a report detailing exactly which sets are restorable. If a set is missing less than 25% of its parts, they offer an optional sourcing service where they purchase the missing pieces from online marketplaces and add them to your restored collection.
And the final reward is receiving your own cleaned bricks, sorted into ready-to-build sets, individually packed with links to instructions. It's taking the chaos of a used pile and returning a pristine, functional, high-value asset.
And the economic data validates this effort entirely. This isn't just convenience, this is genuine value extraction.
Let's talk about that economic calculus. You cited a stunning example where one customer's collection was restored with a 4.8x return on cost. That is massive. But let me push back a little on the economics.
Please do.
The service isn't cheap. The analysis fee is around €15 per kilogram, plus the sorting fee of nearly €40 per kilogram of useful bricks, not to mention international shipping costs. The 4.8x return is based on the new set value, not the actual realized profit if the person sells the restored set used. Is this model really viable for the average collector with, say, a small 5-kilogram pile? Or is this only truly profitable for those with huge, decades-old collections?
That's a crucial point. For a small, modern pile of generic bricks, the cost might outweigh the convenience. However, the data they cite suggests the typical client has a bulk collection that they haven't touched in years, meaning it likely contains those high-value retired parts. The service monetizes scarcity.
So it's not just a service, it's an asset appraisal tool. The AI doesn't just sort, it finds the financial gold nuggets you didn't know you had. If 18.8 kilograms of mixed parts, what you might have sold for, I don't know, $100 as bulk plastic, was restored into 84 sets worth $4,492, then the cost of the service, even factoring in the steep fees, is dwarfed by the newfound asset value.
Exactly. This technology is proof that the sheer logistics of categorization have been suppressing the true market value of the secondary toy market for decades. The AI has now solved the logistical bottleneck, validating the high long-term value of collected plastic parts.
That's the industrial solution. But AI is also coming home to the average builder who might not have 18 kilograms of mixed parts to ship off. What are the consumer-level digital assistants doing?
The primary consumer application is the Brickit app. This is essentially turning your smartphone into an entry-level brick scanner using computer vision. The user spreads their pile out on the floor. The larger the better, takes a single photo, and the app scans, identifies, and counts the available pieces.
The ultimate low-tech, high-tech solution. Does it actually work?
It suggests creative models, robots, vehicles, animals, based on what you have available. But the feature that truly feels like science fiction is its use of augmented reality. It can highlight the physical location of the necessary piece right within the chaotic pile on the floor. It overlays an arrow or a circle on your screen, pointing directly to the piece you need to retrieve.
That's the dream. Eliminating the search entirely. Find the needle in the haystack instantly.
It is, but user feedback does highlight some limitations. First, to get the 99% accuracy you need for identification, you have to spread the pieces super thin across a large floor space, often a significant chunk of a bedroom or living room. and cleaning that up is messy.
Sure.
Second, the app intentionally ignores color in its build suggestions.
Ignoring color seems counterintuitive for an organization app. Why would they make that decision?
The developers made a conscious choice to prioritize creative freedom. If you need a 2x4 brick for a specific structural step, the app suggests using any 2x4 brick regardless of color. This forces you to build visually interesting, often multicolored, and unconventional models.
So you might end up building a kangaroo that is structurally perfect but has a blue head, a green tail, and a red body. The look is glitchy or unintentional, forcing the user to still rely on manual color sorting if they want a cohesive finished product.
A noble failure in the pursuit of pure, unrestricted, creative flow. It highlights the remaining gap between structural identification and aesthetic organization.
Finally, what about the professional sellers who need to quickly pick pieces from their highly organized physical inventory? They need to merge digital identification with physical retrieval.
For them, we have tools like Instabrick, which focuses on speeding up order fulfillment for online stores. Their key technological innovation is integrating AI identification with pick-to-light (P2L) technology.
Kick to light. That sounds highly technical, like something out of a massive Amazon logistics center. How do you explain that to the average listener?
It's an industrial logistics concept made friendly. Imagine your Acromills drawers are connected to your computer. When a customer orders a small blue window frame, the computer instantly identifies which drawer that piece is stored in, and a tiny LED light of pick-to-light flashes green directly on that specific drawer.
Ah, so it completely eliminates the need for the picker to read a label or search a massive paper list.
Precisely. It guides the user directly and immediately to the correct inventory location. This drastically speeds up the picking process, reducing human error to almost zero, which is essential for professional sellers dealing with hundreds of specialized part orders every week. It's the perfect marriage of digital inventory management and physical organization.
What stands out most across this entire deep dive is how the human annoyance of sorting 25,000 unique parts didn't just create a niche market for containers, but forced an engineering revolution that fundamentally changed the economic calculus of a used toy.
It moves far beyond just being a chore and into asset realization. When collections can be restored with a verified resale value generating returns of 3 to almost 5 times the sorting cost, the organization service transforms into a genuine investment strategy. It validates that the long-term value of collected parts is stable, high, and can be monetized if the logistical barrier is removed.
And this movement toward industrial sorting and restoration connects perfectly to the biggest picture of sustainability, the circular economy.
Absolutely. The broader mission of Sort, a brick, isn't just about making money. It's about bringing billions of neglected bricks back to life. Every kilogram of mixed plastic that is scanned, cleaned, and restored into a ready-to-build set is pushing the toy industry toward a closed-loop circular economy model. It promotes massive reuse and reduces the demand for new production, addressing the environmental impact of plastic toys on a global scale.
Before we wrap up, we have to acknowledge that the organization challenge is accelerating, not slowing down. The sets being rumored for the future are enormous.
The scale is escalating dramatically. We are seeing rumors of adult-focused sets in the next few years that are truly gargantuan, like a gigantic 8,278-piece Minas Tirith set rumored for 2026, and talk of a 12,000-plus piece Paris set. These introduce massive volume and complexity. The bigger the set, the harder the sorting problem becomes once it's eventually dismantled.
So what does the ultimate endgame organization system look like in the face of this ever-growing volume?
The future is inevitably hybrid. It won't be one size fits all. The most efficient solution will be the perfect, seamless combination of cutting-edge AI-like sorter brick, managing the macro inventory and doing the initial bulk identification feeding directly into highly organized physical systems for micro-retrieval.
So the machine handles the intellectual load and the heavy lifting, but the human handles the fine detail of retrieval and actual building.
Precisely. The AI manages the digital list in the cloud, and that digital list, via an application or P2L system, tells the human exactly where to look in their physical, highly organized system, whether that's a Papimax cabinet or a 3D printed Gridfinity tray inside an IKEA Alex unit. The physical storage gives the collector density and accessibility, while the AI manages the mental and logistical burden.
The line between physical inventory and digital inventory is completely dissolving, all because people got tired of sorting their children's toys. We've seen how an everyday chore forced an engineering revolution, moving from messy bins and IKEA hacks to 99% precise computer vision in just a few short years.
And that leads to the final provocative thought we want to leave you with. If a startup can so effectively quantify, analyze, and restore the enormous hidden economic value in a chaotic pile of used plastic bricks, what other deeply frustrating, seemingly intractable piles of clutter in your life? Your digital documents, your enormous photo library, or even massive industrial inventory that has stalled your company are simply waiting for a computer vision algorithm or an AI system to unlock their enormous untapped value. The chaos you tolerate today might be the industry of tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the industrialization of the hobbyist workspace. We hope this gave you a few ideas on how to approach your own mountains of plastic and maybe even your own digital mess.